Life on the water is different than life on land. It's a place apart that people who come to the river come to go to this place which is apart to de-stress. The big thing about the Shannon is its ability to de-stress people very deeply and very swiftly. Originally, boating on the Shannon would have been local people, farmers, people who lived by the river, who got their food from the river. And then at the time of steam, that really changed transportation on the river. And it became an industrialised river. And all the boats carried material from Ireland through canals. That material was feeding the developing cities in London and Birmingham and places like that in England. The vessels from that period are being maintained today on the waterway by people like me as kind of a living history. As well as that, you now have the whole leisure development of people using the waterway as a leisure pursuit. Now, and we're well, and yourself? Of any of the lakes on the Shannon system, Lough Derg was the most industrialised. And all of that infrastructure, including the lock in Meelick, Victoria Lock, the largest lock on the system, and all the harbours in Lough Derg are all still there and existing and still being used, modernised and being used by Waterways Ireland.
For Tom Bio, we're a local biodiversity group, a voluntary group, and I suppose we do our best to get to know the biodiversity in this area and to, I suppose, help others to get to know it as well. We are here at the moment on the shores of Lough Derg in Portumna, and we're on a fen wetland. Now, a fen wetland is a type of bog land, and it's dominated by reeds and rushes and sedges and grasses. They're also a haven for wildlife, invertebrates, and a huge variety of specific flora. Wetlands, they are the greatest carbon sinks that we have really on the planet, as far as I know. And they filter the water for us, they clean the water, they filter the runoff from the local landscape, which can be quite harmful these times.
There's a huge interest today in biodiversity, and biodiversity really is looking at how mankind interacts with the other flora and fauna around them. But this was happening in the 19th century as well, but maybe in a slightly different way. We know that quite a few of the naturalists of the time went out and they recorded particular species that were growing in and around the lake, and also recorded a lot of the bird life and animal life that were there. You know, if we look at some of the journals and publications from the 19th century, we can get some very, very interesting material from all of that. And in fact, some of it informs what's happening today, because in locations where this biodiversity is maybe missing, or at least missing some of its habitat type, those old records are filling the gaps, if you like. I suppose the evidence for fishing in Lough Derg is quite late in many ways. We know from 19th century and 20th century references that there was some large fish, some specimen fish caught in the lake, and that made it an important place. Portumna has an angling club since the 19th century, so that's that in itself is something that's clearly shows the importance of the place as a leisure lake where the local men would go out fishing in that.
Since I've been fishing here now, the catchment area itself is very, very important, because it's all the different rivers that feed into Lough Derg. It's a lot more control is on. All the rivers have become much cleaner, feeding into Lough Derg. And of course the trout go up the rivers to spawn, so it's quite important for their health and well-being. Fishing is excellent, really, on Derg. This year was exceptionally good. Through the month of May, good hatch of fly, trout, and catches of pike have been really good this year. I first fished in Lough Derg when I was 18. Came back for about 5 years on the trot because it was such good fishing. Spent most of my career over in mainland Europe, Germany, and then came back here 20 years ago to settle and fish, spend my time on the lake.
Lough Derg has always been a place of fun, and one of the leisure times or the pastimes that people would have pursued on the lake was swimming.
Waterways for people can become home. They can become a place that you settle in, that you like. I won't use the word institutionalised, but it is a sense institutionalising. But you become very content, very relaxed. You're away from the hustle and bustle